Hello class, welcome to my CIS 9467 midterm project. For my project, I decided to look at the airline traffic coming into and out of JFK Airport. The part that I was interested is I wanted to find out how many airlines were actually on time, how many airlines were delayed, and how many flights were cancelled, and the reasons for the delays and cancellations. I found this to be extremely interesting because nowadays we are always bombarded with airline information and ads saying that they are always on time or they are 95% on time. So I wanted to verify and see how much of this is true and how much of this is just marketing. So ideally, to verify this, you would need to look at the data for an entire year. Unfortunately, the data for an entire year is very big and very unwieldy. So instead, I decided to look at the data for the month of December 2016. I chose the month of December because I thought that December has a reasonably high amount of passenger traffic, as well as December has a good mix of good weather and bad weather days. So I thought it was the month of December is a good representation for the entire year. I got all of my data from the Bureau of Transportation and Statistics. And now when we look at the dashboard on the top left-hand corner, you can see a map. This map has many circles on it. Basically, these circles show the various cities to which flights were cancelled. And on the right hand side of the map, there are the airlines by their IATA code. For example, AA is American Airlines, B6 is JetBlue, DL is Delta. And what you can do is you can click on individual airlines and see which are the cities where they had cancelled the flights during the month of December. So when we click on American Airlines, it shows us that, for example, they cancelled 6 flights into Charlotte. You look at Delta, and they cancelled 1 flight into San Diego. When we look at JetBlue, you can see that they cancelled 4 flights into Fort Lauderdale. On the right-hand side, top right of the dashboard is another bar graph, and this bar graph gives you the number of flights which were cancelled by each airline during the month of December. Now, if we look at this data, you see most of the airlines have had a steady number of flights which they had cancelled, around 40. Only the airlines that are JetBlue, ExpressJet and Southwest had an unusually high number of flight cancellations. I feel that this number is normal for JetBlue because JetBlue has their main operating hub at JFK, and so they have a large number of flights leaving and operating into JFK. So the number of flights cancelled is proportional to the number of flights that they operate. But this is not the case for ExpressJet and Southwest. So a little more investigation would be needed to understand why they have so many flights that are cancelled. At the bottom left of the dashboard is another bar graph, and this shows the number of flights that were delayed by more than 15 minutes as per the airline. So you can see American Airlines had flights delayed, over 1,000 flights which were delayed by over 15 minutes. JetBlue had almost 2,500 flights which were delayed by over 15 minutes. And so is the case with Delta. When we look at these big 3 airlines, I think it is normal that they would have a high number of delays over 15 minutes because many of the flights they operate are during peak hours when there's a lot of other traffic. What is interesting to know when we compare these two tables is that ExpressJet has an unbelievably low number of delays, so does Southwest. but both these airlines have a high number of cancellations. So that would need to be investigated further. On the bottom right hand corner of the chart, you will see another chart depicting the various reasons for the delays and the number of delays caused by those reasons. The reasons listed are weather, security, or other airport security conditions, or the late aircraft arrival delay. In fact, when we look at American Airlines, you can see that there are around 120 cases, 130 cases of the flight being delayed due to weather. In fact, other airport reasons have contributed to almost 900 reasons for delay, and the late aircraft arrival has contributed for around 500 instances of the flight being delayed. When we look at the big three, the American, the Delta, as well as JetBlue, you can see that the amount of delays are similar in terms of weather and other airport activities. What is interesting to note that when we look at the delays caused due to security, we can see that almost none of the flights are delayed due to security reasons. And this is extremely encouraging, because most of the times we hear people saying that, oh, security takes a lot of time, but fortunately none of the flights are actually delayed due to it. Only JetBlue is delayed, but then again that is perfectly natural, because JFK is a hub for JetBlue, so maximum number of flights operate from JFK. So there is a possible reason for the security delay for JetBlue. When we come to the second page of the dashboard and we look at the top right hand corner, you can see a bar chart which shows the number of flights that are diverted by the different airlines. And again, over here you can see that most of the flights diverted are pretty low. If you see American Airlines and Southwest, they are all diverting a very low amount of flights. Only JetBlue, Delta, and Virgin America have a higher number of flight diversions. Again, we need to investigate to find out what is the reason behind these flight diversions. When we look at the top left-hand corner, there is a pie chart. This shows that the number of individual destinations each airline services out of JFK. So American Airlines services 26, Delta services 36 different destinations, and again JetBlue services 47 destinations. This is not surprising for JetBlue, because it is the JFK, like I said, is the hub for JetBlue. So all the flights leave out of JFK, which is why they have this high number over here. Lastly, when we look at the bottom graph on the dashboard, this shows the average distance of every flight out of JFK by the carriers. For example, American Airlines, their average distance of a flight out is around 1,000 miles. JetBlue is around 1,000 miles as well. In fact, all the airlines are in this range except for Hawaiian Airlines. The reason for this is most of the Hawaiian Airlines flights from JFK go all the way to Hawaii, so that explains the long distance for the flight. And in conclusion, I would say that for an average traveler who is leaving from JFK, he does not need to worry about flights getting cancelled or flights getting diverted, but he does need to keep in mind that there's a very good chance that his flight might get delayed, and we need to further investigate this and find out the reasons why, but that is beyond scope of this presentation, and we require further data and analysis to determine why. Thank you for listening to the presentation.